Take 3, or is it 4 now? Never mind. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody on planet Earth. Good to see you today. Hope you're all doing well. This video is all about the world famous royal correspondent that I never heard of before in my life, called Omid Scobie, otherwise known as Meghan's mouthpiece. I never heard of this guy before Meghan turned up. But before coming on to that, and I'm going to talk about him because he's been very quiet ever since the Markle versus Markle lawsuit, but he has just released an article. I don't know if it's at anybody's behest, his mistress perhaps, probably, I don't know. But before getting on to that, I just wanted to talk about a couple of other things quickly, because I do feel that us plebs, I refer to myself as a pleb, I need the elite to help me understand how to live my life, you know. I have just finished reading an article in the Washington Post, which is because I looked up 15-minute cities. I thought I'll just Google 15-minute cities again. I'll go on the news and I'll see what it says. And this article shows up really high because Google choose that one, I suppose. And it's all about us plebs. It's full of arrogance. It's so condescending. It's almost written as if they think that we either won't read it or we can't read them right, so we won't understand the great big long words. It refers to us all, well, I can only speak for myself, because I dare to question what is a 15-minute city. Is this ever going to become enforceable? Are they going to restrict people to certain zones? There was a film once called The Hunger Games, wasn't there, which had this, you know, that was the theory, wasn't it? And they call us bad actors, they call us conspiracy theorists. They say that the plebs, you know, they don't like being manipulated, so we got to manipulate them in a way they don't know they're being manipulated. They're too stupid for their own good. That's how it comes across. It's, I mean, talk about pushing people in the opposite direction. I'm left-leaning. I was a Ramona. They've lost me. They have lost me. And whenever people try and do PR like that, where they're really being horrible and rude about the opposition, you've lost the argument. You're going to lose people. I did a video ages ago, about a year ago, basically about the PR surrounding Camilla and trying to improve her image. And this is nothing against Camilla, but the PR people that they had doing it were awful, because all they could do was slag off Princess Diana. So I made a video saying, if you want people to like Camilla, stop slagging off Princess Diana, because that's going to have quite the reverse effect, and might not have fallen on deaf ears because they packed it in to a large extent. But for just simply questioning something like, oh, I don't know, do we all really have to be locked down in our homes? Or is President Zelensky a nice guy? I mean, this is another thing. 99.9% of you totally got what I was saying about Zelensky the other night, and how I don't trust him. I'm not sure about him. Just because social media, mainstream media and politicians tell me that I must like President Zelensky is not good enough for me. I want to make up my own mind, and I see things in his body language. I look at him, something is setting my teeth on edge. But there was at least one person who sort of said to me, oh, how dare you question him? The poor people in Ukraine. I wasn't talking about the people in Ukraine. I'm not for a minute dismissing the fact that people are living in a war zone. Okay, I don't know where that came from. People are living in a war zone. Of course I sympathise with anybody living in a war zone. But can you see, just by me saying I'm not sure about Zelensky as an individual politician and human being, I'm not sure about him. Therefore, at least one person came along and said, then you're dismissing the whole of the Ukraine and siding with Putin, you Putin sympathiser. For goodness sake. So you can't even ask a question or go, oh, excuse me, I'm not sure that this is the right way to go. Ah, dissenter. And the fact that Zelensky says he's Jewish, what is that, a get out of jail free card? Like, if someone is a person of colour, they're automatically, oh, Savannah, with a halo, and they never sin and they never do anything wrong. No, I'm sorry. And that comes from me wearing, and I support the Jewish people, although I'm not Jewish myself. No, there's something about Zelensky, and I will not be forced by social media to take legal, medical, political, financial, any advice. Social media is not the place to get any of those things. Right, now I've got that rant out of the way. Let's get on to Mr. Arrogance himself. Omid Scobie has written an article basically saying that all the other royals are irrelevant because Sophie and Edward have just been on their tour. He makes big emphasis at the expense of the British taxpayer, and yet Meghan and Harry have been trending. He makes the point that Catherine and William and Charles and Camilla are doing things and that they're not getting anywhere near as much publicity as Meghan and Harry. Well, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again, Omid, and I bet he will botch this because, again, his name's going to be in the title. I would suggest that if an asteroid were hurtling towards planet Earth and we were all told it was going to kill us all, that would trend. A worldwide virus, I don't know, like something like COVID, that trended. They're not good things. They're not good reasons. Just because something's trending, Omid, doesn't mean it's popular. Okay? You seem to think Meghan is so relevant. The reason she's trending, and Harry, is because people are watching on aghast. I'm sure of it. The majority of people are watching going, he had a frozen what? He rubbed his mummy's lip balm on his what? Making it sound like his mummy's kissing it better. Meghan saying those bitchy things on Oprah, the bitchiest of which I think was when Oprah said, who was it in the royal family who said that racist thing? And Meghan went, oh, I don't think I should say. I think that could be very damaging. That could be one of the reasons she trends, Omid. That could be why people look. Maybe human beings out here in the real world have had one or two nasty pieces of work in their life. And they're watching this woman and thinking, this seems familiar somehow. Maybe that's why she's trending. Oh, but we're all cashing in on it. Oddly enough, last night, the Lindsay Lohan film was on TV and the whole family came to watch it. Mean Girls. Now, I saw Mean Girls years and years ago, like a lot of you. And at the time, I thought Regina I just thought, oh, what a bitch. But actually, now, having met our two personal psychopaths that we have in our lives, and having observed Markle and the way she treats her father, the way she treats her sister, employees, ex-employees, the royal family, the Queen of England, the Duke of Edinburgh on their deathbeds, the way she behaves, her PR is the most abysmal in the world. It's something you cannot look away from. And I think that younger people fall for it, and I probably would if I was younger, because they haven't got the life experience and they haven't figured out a few things and met a bitch or two along their way, or worse, narcissists, true narcissists who are really, really dangerous people. Take it from me. One day I will tell you all the great big long story, the 12-year battle of our two psychopathic narcissists, but this is not the time. But one day I will tell you, and you will see immediately the resemblance between the two. In fact, they're far worse. I dread to think if either of those two had ever married into the British royal family or had access to power and money on that level. Ooh, what a chilling thought. Luckily, they're pretty impoverished pair of idiots. So, Omid, that's what trending is all about. I'd suggest maybe you go on a Google course, I don't know, to understand what trending means. Trending doesn't always mean something's popular and good. Sometimes, Omid, trending means lots of people don't like it and are horrified for one reason or another. Or perhaps it's like a train crash and they can't look away. Anyway, so that's my rant for the day. You can see where I'm coming from with free speech, and I think it's social media that really drew that rage vein out in me, because as soon as I started dabbling on Facebook, I could quite quickly see it was full of Adolf Hitlers telling me what I must and mustn't believe. This should be your political belief on this. This is how you should conduct your life. You should cancel this if we tell you so. Thou shalt take all commands from social media. No, I don't think so. Oh, apart from TikTok. Apparently TikTokers are evil. YouTubers are evil. No, we all need to get ourselves back on Facebook and start receiving our manipulation from Bloomberg and Washington Post really read that Washington Post article. But try and do it without anything breakable around, and don't have anything in your mouth when you're reading it, because it's really insulting. It really is. I hope you all have a fabulous free day. Enjoy your freedoms while they last. As always, thank you very much for listening.